just imagine for a moment living in a time, a place, where learning to read or even write was treated like a serious crime.
Yeah, a crime that could get you, well, physically punished, brutally so.
That was the reality, the grim reality for Black people in America before the Civil War in antebellum America. So today we're going to dive deep into why. Why did white supremacists systematically ban literacy? What were they so afraid of?
And crucially, how did literacy itself become this powerful weapon, a tool for resistance, for freedom?
Right. Our mission really is to understand how keeping knowledge away shaped things, but also, how the human spirit found a way through using the power of words.
It's quite something. It reminds you that knowledge isn't always, welcomed by those holding the reins of power.
No kidding.
Between about 1740 and 1835, pretty much every southern state rolled out these anti-literacy laws.
Every single one?
Almost. South Carolina, for example, had one back in 1740, teaching enslaved people to read or write. That could land you heavy fines, even prison time. But, beyond the legal stuff, the physical punishments...
Right.
They were horrific. You hear accounts of whippings, even dismemberment, just for daring to learn.
That's just chilling. So it wasn't just about, basic control then. There was something deeper going on, more calculated.
Oh, absolutely. It's fascinating, in a dark way, how instinctively the white power structure understood the threat.
The threat of reading.
Yes. The threat literacy posed to their whole system. As one historian put it, if you're illiterate, you can't forge a travel pass. You can't easily follow news about abolitionists.
Right. Keeps people isolated.
Exactly. Denying literacy wasn't just about ignorance. It was a specific strategy to sort of stifle critical thinking connection, making it way harder for enslaved people to organize or even question the narratives they were fed.
Their ignorance was literally designed to protect the slave system itself.
Precisely. Protect the integrity of the slaving institution, as the source material says.
And they weren't shy about admitting it either. I remember reading about a Virginia slaveholder, James Hammond. He warned that if enslaved people read abolitionist writings, they'd be stimulated to cut our throats. He actually said learning would spoil the best nigger in the world. It just lays bare the absolute terror driving these incredibly harsh laws.
It really does. And it makes you wonder then, with a system so set on preventing it, how did someone like Frederick Douglass even manage it? How did he break through? His story is just so key.
Okay, yeah, let's get into that. This is where it becomes really pivotal. When Douglass was young in Baltimore, his mistress, Sophia Auld, she actually started teaching him his ABCs. Seemed kind enough at first.
Right, but that didn't last long, did it?
Not at all. Her husband, Thomas Auld, found out and just shut it down immediately. He scolded her, saying, it was unlawful as well as unsafe to teach a slave to read.
Unsafe. Wow.
And he flat out said literacy would forever unfit him to be a slave.
And that was the light bulb moment for Douglass, wasn't it?
Totally. He said later he finally understood what had been a most perplexing difficulty to wit: the white man's power to enslave the black man.
He saw the connection. Right. Education equals pathway to freedom.
Exactly. The very fact his master hated the idea, called books and learning evil, that just hardened Douglass's resolve. He realized, okay, this isn't just about learning stuff.
No, it's about understanding his situation, right? Connecting with bigger ideas like abolitionism and figuring out how to actually escape. It sharpens the mind for strategy.
It was truly a radical act. For enslaved people, learning to read and write wasn't like picking up a hobby. It was profound resistance. It was claiming their own humanity.
And you see that after emancipation, too, right?
Yeah.
Newly freed black men and women, they fought tooth and nail for education. They knew literacy wasn't some luxury.
It was a lifeline.
A lifeline to citizenship, to dignity, to having actual power in the world.
That really brings to mind Nelson Mandela's quote, education is the most powerful weapon.
Exactly. It echoes that perfectly. For these individuals, it wasn't just about skills. It was about using that power against the system that oppressed them to build something new.
And literacy does more, doesn't it? It sharpens your thinking, connects you to others' experiences, builds empathy, which is kind of the antidote to prejudice.
Right. And there's also the personal side. Writing, just expressive writing, can be so important for emotional health, especially under oppression.
Like keeping a journal.
Yeah, or just writing out feelings. Research shows it helps people process trauma, organize their thoughts. Think of Anne Frank. Paper is more patient than people.
That's powerful. That blank page becomes a safe space, maybe the only safe space, to be honest, to process things. A quiet act of defiance.
Absolutely. It's claiming your inner life when the outside world tries to deny it.
And ultimately, knowledge is freedom in a very practical sense, too.
How so?
Well, literacy opens the door to vital information. Laws, the Constitution, what's happening in the world. If you can read, you can learn about your rights, you can plan.
Like Douglas reading the Columbian Orator, he said it taught him about natural rights, fueled his desire to escape.
It's such a clear demonstration. Knowledge really is the ultimate tool for liberation.
So wrapping this up, what have we seen here? White supremacists, they knew literacy was power. They banned it systematically to keep control, to keep Black people ignorant.
People like Douglas, they defied that. They found their path to freedom, to leadership, through reading and writing. It really hammers home that old saying.
The pen is mightier than the sword.
Absolutely.
The enduring lesson seems pretty clear, right? Literacy is fundamental power. It grows the mind, builds empathy, gives a voice to people who've been silenced. It's about access, understanding, shaping your own story.
And, our source material points out that these struggles for what it calls substantive literacy aren't just history. They're still happening.
Meaning not just decoding words, but really understanding complex stuff, critical histories, racial critiques.
Exactly. And it raises this big question, really, for you listening. How do you see the control of information, the control of ideas, playing out today in our world right now?
And maybe what personal role can literacy reading, thinking critically, writing play in shaping a future that's more informed and maybe more just?
Something to think about.